Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Hi.
afternoon.
You able to hear me clearly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, that was interesting. I was actually sitting in on the events planning. I actually had a question. I want to learn more about the psychology of colors, but I guess I can always reach out to her after we can discuss that one. Um, so today I'm going to speak on my area of expertise, which is conflict and performance coaching. Um, are you guys familiar with coaching by chance?
Yes.
Kinda.
Kinda, yeah. I know it's a relatively new field in Trinidad and Tobago. We are hearing of different persons who are coaches, lifestyle coaches, executive coaches, and stuff like that. My area, however, is a bit, well, quite different in the sense that it's conflict coaching. And conflict coaching is basically me tying in alternative dispute resolution processes into the coaching practice and helping persons to really understand and focus on their strengths and potential to overcome whatever obstacles that are hindering them from meeting their potential. So in the sense, my special area is I work with single parents who are looking to start businesses. So this is the area of that I prefer to focus on, right? Other coaches will do business, executive, lifestyle, etc. So a bit about coaching. Recently, a Forbes article actually stated that within the next few years or so, especially what's currently going on with COVID, coaching will be an area which will actually expand by 150%. And this was mind blowing. And what they're saying, the areas of growth will be seen in education and helping field. And coaching is a helping field. This is where we help persons. This is where we we seek to let persons identify their strengths in helping themselves, right? It's not all about me telling you what it is you need to do, lecturing to you how to go about and do it. This is me actually, or coach actually showing you you can identify the areas that you need to work on, and you can also identify the strategies that can be implemented to achieve your potential. So this is where the coaching really comes into play. So that is basically a bit of information about the profession, so to say. How did I get into this profession? Wow, that is a bit of a roundabout way in the sense that I actually did my first degree in social sciences at UWKFL. I studied psychology, sociology, and management. Moved on to a master's at KFL, again, international management. Um, and then a few years later, while working, I came across mediation studies, postgraduate studies in mediation studies. And I looked into it and I said, you know what, this is something I would love to do. And I spoke to a few persons at UB campus in St. Augustine because I had moved back home to Trinidad then. And I heard it's one of the most difficult programs on campus at the time. And I was a new mom, so I was a bit daunted by it, but I took the plunge. I resigned my job and I went to study full time, and it was wonderful. Mediation studies, it is intense. There's a lot of reading. I know yesterday the psychologist, she spoke about the love of psychology and reading and stuff. Mediation studies actually incorporate some aspects of psychology, business, different school of thought, and it really helped you to understand conflict resolution, mediation, facilitation, conciliation, etc. And how it is we can resolve conflicts, method used to resolve conflicts and stuff. And from that, I always sort of focus on conflict resolution, but as also with my background in HR, which I studied with business and then my master's. So I started to combine the two. And I worked as a general manager in an oil and gas upstream company for a while. And in that, you learn to deal with your employees, help them to resolve whatever issues they may have on the job. And going on there, I consulted somewhat as well in helping certain special companies in those things as well. And then I was asked to coach postgraduate students in mediation at St. Augustine. And in that day, while I was doing the coaching, I was like, wait, I like this. I like actually helping. I like facilitating the learning process. And a friend at the time, she introduced me to a coaching training that was taking place at the, what do you call it again? It's the Positive Psychology Institute in Atlanta. And I went there for a weekend and I did the coaching session and I was floored in the sense that I was like, oh my gosh, it all came together. My psychology, my business experience, my studies, everything melded into one. And I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be coaching. Came back and I started and I took it off. Now I am building my brand as a conflict guru 868, helping again small business persons, specifically single parents, build their businesses. And that's basically it, like how I got into the entire thing. So that also touches on some of my experience in the field. Now, with the benefits of the profession, once it is you are someone who is willing to give, someone willing to help, it will be beneficial to you, because what you're doing is facilitating that process of persons learning about themselves, persons actually solving their issues with your guidance. So there is a benefit in that. The challenge, however, is it can take a toll on you, because there are times when you're with a client and you want to tell them exactly what it is, like you need to do this, but you can't as a coach, because coaching is not therapy, coaching is not counseling, coaching is not mentoring. Coaching is where you facilitate that person in figuring out what it is that they would like to do. And I like to say I am a perfectly positioned coach, conflict coach, in the sense that this is my position. I am here. You are in front of me as my client. I'm going to guide you and facilitate that process for you. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to force you to do it. Right? I am here to help along the way to the best of my ability, with the agreement that we make together. So, for example, if a client comes and says, Ayana, I am thinking of starting my small business as a hairdresser, but I don't know, I have kids to study about, I still want to finish, you know, the program I signed up for in school, help me, what to do. I will basically, again, make sure she agrees that, okay, this is what you want to achieve. Once she says yes, we sign up on it, we go from there. What is keeping you back? What are the hindrances? She explains it, whatever. What do you see as your strong points? What do you see as your weak points? Things like that. Asking questions to facilitate that growth. So that is how the coaching really works. Any questions at this point? No? Okay, right. So basically that is about it with the coaching. When you look at the benefits of coaching for persons, like if I go to an organization, the benefits of coaching for employees, you find that you have better decision making. You find that they are clearer in what decisions that they want to make exactly and in the position in the organization. For a company, however, you find that there's an improvement in productivity when working with a coach. It improves the quality of work, as also you will see an increase in the strength of the organization, as in the teams. There's a cohesiveness in the teams when working with a coach. And of course, ultimately, you will, for service-oriented companies that deal with customer service, you will see an improvement in that. Another challenge, however, and this should be noted, that is faced today in the practice of coaching is that, unfortunately, it's a very attractive area. A lot of persons will claim to be coaches and stuff like that. And what you find that some of those persons are not trained per se to be a coach. And this is where you will have some difficulties, because it causes a bad reputation to be developed, and it damages the reputation of those persons who are trained. There is qualifications that you can take and certifications you can't pursue in coaching. The ICF, the International Coaching Federation, I think they are the one global institution that would actually certify a coach. Personally, I did not go this route. I took my courses with CAP, but also because I'm a certified mediator and I spent a few years as well with conflict resolution and stuff, that assisted me in pursuing this field comfortably, and that provided the qualification and the experience that I needed. So that is something that if it is you're interested in engaging a coach, ask about some references, ask about their background and stuff like that. Not to be rude or anything, but to have an understanding of if it is that person meets your requirements, right? So, and coaching does not mean that you have to fix something in yourself. Always remember that as well. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. It is just you trying to get over whatever stumbling blocks that is keeping you back from pursuing whatever goals or whatever objectives that you may have. So if it is you begin to feel that you feel overwhelmed or you feel that there may be a problem in how you are approaching stuff or whatever, no. You need to stop, take a deep breath, become aware of what your strengths are, and then the coach will help you facilitate that development and help you towards achieving your goals.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
In your line of work, getting into organizations now, is it easy in terms of getting into that market of saying, I am a coach and I could help you? Are they willing to accept that they may need help in terms of conflict resolution?
Well, before the onset of the measurements taken by the government with COVID, of a few companies I had conversations with, they were interested in the sense of improving their customer service. So they were actually interested in engaging my services and training their staff in improving the customer service. Specifically, that what we consider that conflict in customer service. How do I bridge that gap to allow my staff to be more, how to put it, conducive, I guess? So we will take away that grind that you see usually attach a customer service in the country, where we always complain about the service. So they were interested in that sense of it. With the onset of COVID, everything has come to a halt. So I cannot say if it will be easy or not, but I am very positive that things are going to pick up after, in the sense that we would need to align teams and organizations after this. We need to bring the teams together. And this is where I will be to come in to help the teams align with the goals of management. So to bridge that gap between management and subordinates in the organization. So it is something that I think, yes, it will grow.
Hi, good day.
Hello.
Just connecting to that question as well as your answer, you spoke about team building.
Right.
And you also spoke about you use the information that people give you with certain questions you ask in order to tailor your counseling to them.
Right.
So how do you do that in a group setting?
Okay, so that is what we will call team coaching. And this is basically, as a facilitator, you will get a better understanding of the team itself. So one example, something I recently did, I think it was February of this year, there was a team and we're trying to get the team to be more cohesive. So we sat down, we did a round table, and we had discussions. They voiced whatever issues that they may have had. Some persons were not as open in voicing it. So what I did is let them write it and put it in a jar, like a fishbowl. From that, I pulled it out and we started to address the issues. And when I say we address the issues, I will voice the issue and then get the feedback from the team and then facilitate the resolution of that issue with the input of the team. So sometimes you will find that team members may not be open in actually voicing anything for fear of being reprimanded. So you can have them write it anonymously. You can even have them email beforehand. And then you address that with the input of everyone in the team. So no one will feel left out, no one will feel set apart, everyone will feel included. And what you find is that given an opportunity to actually speak as one and being heard actually helps the teams bind together and become stronger.
And if, like in that scenario, if a worker says something out of line coming to management, are you responsible for getting it back to management, or is that confidential training?
Personally, I keep things confidential because I mean, you're trusting me to help you resolve an issue. What I would do in cases of if management has hired me to resolve this issue, I will make it aware that an issue, if it's an issue of grave concern, it should be taken to management. I will make that suggestion, right? And inform them that management will be informed of this, but not who have said it, because what I'll be doing is breaking confidentiality in that case, right? So even though the management or a company will recruit me, I need to also toe the line and saying that, listen, I want to get the best out of this group. So I have to engender some form of confidentiality within the group and to help them to trust me, because without that trust, I'm not going to be able to assist them in resolving the issues. Did that answer it for you?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
And in terms of training, what would you recommend for somebody who wants to now get into the field?
What type of coach would you like to be? If you would like to be a lifestyle coach per se, I would recommend you can do some form of counseling. I think you guys at CTS, you actually offer a diploma in counseling. Correct me if I'm
We have the
right.
certificates available right now.
Right, that can actually help, because there you would learn the skills in or actually engaging persons and stuff like that. Coaching, there are quite several coaching sessions available online as well as well, let's focus on online right now. CAP, the Positive Psychology Institute, they are really good. It's managed and owned by Valerie Burton. You guys can Google her. I can also place some information on my Instagram and Facebook page if you're interested, the Conflict Guru 868. I don't know if Elena may be able to share it with you guys. I can put some information and some data that will be able to help you. So do a coaching training. I'm not too sure what they have locally. I know there are some classes locally and it seems to be very good as well. So you can do that training to really learn what is required of you as a coach. Because there's a difference, like I said, between coaching, counseling, mediation, etc. And there is a difference. You need to learn to be able to facilitate the conversation, facilitate the assistance, right? You need to let persons, like I said, engender that sense of trust. So persons can open up to you and really explain to you what is that obstacle keeping them back. So then you will know now what strategies you can use to assist them in overcoming these obstacles, right? Because you have to understand that as a coach, you are not there to give them the solution. You are there to help them see, understand the solution themselves and implement it themselves.
Okay, so I've just added your Instagram page into the chat box as well, so the students should be able to access.
Great. So that is basically about the coaching profession. Let me see what else, if I left anything out. Oh, like I said before, I'm very excited about this because I read this in an article. Even PricewaterhouseCoopers stated that coaching industry is actually second fastest growing industry. So it is something to get into. It is quite exciting. There are different ways you can do. I have chosen facilitation because of my conflict resolution background, but there are different ways that you can do it. Interactive ways, and measures. So it's something that is quite exciting, but I know it's not currently in Trinidad. We cannot say we can go to CTS or UE and study coaching per se, right? What you find that is amalgamation of the studies done over the years and my experience that actually led me to this. So you may find that someone may study psychology and think that, hey, I can actually coach. Business persons with business background studying business management as well, they can actually get into coaching field, like coaching, executive or corporate coaching and stuff like that. It all depends on your background. So I think you can, once you have studied something, you have gained that experience and you're willing to help and give back, you can take on this on coaching with whatever studies that you think will be required in the coaching profession.
And scenario-wise, what would you say has been one of the most difficult situations you had to deal with?
Scenario-wise, I think, but not giving out what the exact situation was. I think for me, again, it was not trying to stop myself from telling the persons what to do, because we want to tell them, okay, you can do this way. I think that was the most difficult thing for me as a coach. Not actually saying, you need to do this or you need to do that. Or look, it's right there, it's right there in front of you, you can figure it out. I think that is the hardest thing. Because as a mother, you know, you tell your kids, don't do this or do that or whatever. So you find you take that mothering with you. So that is really to stop. The hardest thing is really to stop that side of it and let persons actually see it for themselves.
Mm-hmm. And personality. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Personality trait-wise, is there anything that we should look for in ourselves that may say, okay, this may be the profession for you?
Once you have that helping, once you don't have a problem giving back and you mind helping and guiding and, for want of a better term, counseling and stuff like that, you'll be surprised to know whenever I do my personality tests, I am an ISTP. I am an introvert. The only time you will see my extroverted side coming out is when I am coaching or I'm lecturing, because I'm also a lecturer as well. When it is I am speaking to persons and helping, then you will see that side of me. So you guys listening to me today would say, wow, she's an extrovert. But honestly, I am very introverted. When I am finished here today, I'm going to need to lie down, have some alone time, go over what it is I said, critique myself, take a hard drink of water, and then be like, okay, Ayana, you can do this, right? I had to do it before I came on here, right? So that is where, so personality, you can be an introvert or be considered introverted, but once it is you have that passion and you want to give back and you want to help persons, you can be amazed at what you will do as a coach.
Awesome.
Okay, so how do you deal with clients when they have mental blocks or emotional blocks and you have to stay professional?
Now, the thing with coaching is we focus on the here and now. So we do not, yes, we may visit past experiences, but we do not delve too much into it. That will be more for counseling. So if it is that when you say mental blocks, do you mean like a mental issue per se?
Yes, like if they want to start a business, but certain things in their life, like they cannot focus on that. Yeah, how do you deal with that?
It will be remiss of me if I do not tell them to seek some form of counseling before doing it. Because if it is a mental or emotional block that may have caused some damage or some issue that is beyond the field of coaching, that will now step into therapy. And as a coach, I would need to make them aware of this and advise that they seek some form of counseling. And once they have delved and dealt with that, then it is, I will, then I can then continue with the coaching process with that. Because my job is not to be a therapist, right? I will need to make sure that they get the proper help to deal with those issues.
Okay, this is a two-part question. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Would you say with getting into the emotional aspect of it, would you recommend a prerequisite to coaching being studying some form of psychology and how the mental, how that composition makes up an individual so you can better understand that individual? That's one. And two, by dealing with multiple personalities within the corporate realm, is that like mentally draining to you as a coach, and how do you deal with that?
I can speak for myself. My studies in psychology and counseling has helped me greatly in being a coach. I think that was the factor that actually brought everything together. It was that studies in psychology, my business background, my mediation, conflict resolution, that really brought it together for me. So yes, I would say that will be a benefit if it is you want to get into like what I'm doing, because it's conflict, right? And conflict is inevitable. It can occur in any realm. Yes, that will be it, an advantage. When dealing with the different personalities, again, what I see as someone who considers herself perfectly positioned is that we're all made up, or this world is made up of so many different personality types, different backgrounds, different things coloring the way we would think. The same thought, but processed differently. It can be a bit draining in trying to pull it all together, because sometimes you may find there's a pull and tug, because one thought can be processed so differently by different persons. In gelling that together and melding it together, it can prove to be draining, but coaching requires patience. Coaching requires understanding that the end result is awareness of your client. So you're going to have to push on through, you're going to have the patience, you're going to have to know what processes or what strategies you can implement to achieve this objective without stressing yourself out, so to say. I hope that answered both questions. Angela asks, can this job be emotionally draining considering the fact that you are not allowed to speak your mind? Let's go with speak your mind first. I am not allowed, but I do not allow myself to tell you what to do. I allow you to, let me see how to say this. I allow you to allow yourself to achieve your vision. But in the event that you are purposely derailing your purpose, then I will have an input and I will speak my mind in that regard, but I would not tell you what to do. And like I said with the question before, with the corporate side, it could be a bit draining emotionally, especially if persons just not seeing or not doing the work to really achieve that goal. So that is it. Do we have any more questions by anyone?
Yes, one more. So
Okay.
this career, is it a contractual career that you go at a certain time in a business, or is only when they call you, you go there for whatever time frame they give you?
It can be anything. Like I said, my specialty is assisting single parents start their business. I also help organizations align the visions between their management and their subordinates. So it depends on, yes, they contract you for a specific time, but I also have clients on the side, private clients, who I schedule on a day-to-day basis. So it's a quite busy job, because you have clients between your work hours, then you do your consulting, which would be the business, so the coaching and stuff like that, and then of course the training and development. So it's not just fixed in allotted times and stuff like that. You can be quite busy for the day once it is you have built your clientele. No, we have a few minutes left again. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
so within the organization, when they contract you for a certain amount of time, say 3 months, and you want to get them from where they are to the realization of where you want them to be, how do you tailor your planning to get them there within that 3-month span?
Right. So if you give me 3 months, what I will need to do is get an agreement from the organization who have contracted me and the persons who I am going to be coaching. So say, okay, we have this allotted time period. Get an agreement for them of what it is they want to achieve. And once it is that is a SMART goal, we work towards achieving that goal. So we have to pay attention to making sure your goals are SMART, right? Specific, etc., to ensure that it can be achieved within that time. So, Helena, I think I take it back to you. I want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity, and thank you guys for all the questions.